Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Retro and Rare podcast episode for Mega Print Monday. Now, I would normally ask Doyle if he even knows what Mega Print Monday is, which I'm sure he has no fucking idea. But we got my boy Josh here, Futurepastnyc, if you need to know his online name. But you certainly know what Mega Print Monday would be.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely feel the Mega Print Monday.
Now, for those that are fans of Doyle, Doyle is still in the room. I may still curse him out at some point. He's playing, what is it, Game & Watch Zelda. You're supposed to be making sure we're recording shit, by the way. So make sure everything is good there. We don't have him for the weather. It's starting to get crispy. Now, Josh, you're from up north, right?
Northeast, yes.
Northeast, right? Down here right now, it was like, okay, first of all, you came down. Now, it's not to specifically do the podcast, which would be dope anyway, and I'm sure you would do that.
Yeah, I would.
He's here with the fam, and you went to Magic Kingdom today?
That's right, yeah.
How was the weather there today?
Beautiful.
Okay, it was perfect.
I could not ask for a better day to
65.
walk around and run to each ride back and forth with the children.
Now, is it etiquette in the vintage community, excuse me, to go to the park and you got to rock something appropriate?
I feel like, yeah, you kind of like want to pull out one of your cool pieces, right?
Yeah.
How often are you going to be in Magic Kingdom?
Correct. Not in every day.
If you're fucking with Disney shit, let's pull something out.
And then you had on the Mickey Mouse Mega.
Right. It was like a big print. I'm still wearing it.
He's got it, bro.
Fantasia with the kind of the wizard guy. He's not a wizard. I forget his exact title, but
Close enough.
Mickey's supposed to be following his lead. He tries to do his own thing.
Right.
The brooms go
Classic
crazy.
shit, yep.
Wizard, yeah. So I had to pull it out. Something I bought off overseas buyer. I got in a bundle. It's actually dry rot. I could rip the shirt. I'm not going to do it on camera, but it's all thread.
Now, how do you feel? Okay, so you could rock dry rot shirts.
Yeah.
Now, explain briefly. There are some people that have no idea what the fuck we're talking about.
Right.
Explain what dry rot is.
So cotton over the years, if it's not wet and stretched and kind of, I feel like water is the most important part of it. It kind of gets acidic. The dye has acid in it, and it kind of deteriorates the cotton over years. So like a shirt could even be washed and still be dry rot. So there's like a lot of like factors that go into dry rot. I think it goes down to like the dye was cheap. Companies use cheap dye.
Okay, and then it turns acidic at some point.
Yeah, and it'll just rip.
Damn. Well, that. So now when you're buying a vintage tee online, this is where it gets sketchy. If somebody's not 100%, and they don't tell you.
No, some people don't even know that their shirts are dry.
Right, because they're not going to test it. Then they'll pull the sleeve a little, whatever.
There's collectors out there that have no idea that probably 50% of their collection is dry rot.
Well, a lot of if they're not rocking it, or they'll know when they get caught on a fence or some shit. I don't know who's hopping a fence with $1,000 tee on.
It's tough to kind of be in this market of buying and selling and being unaware of it, and then it happening to you, and you get burned on it. But I do think I'm actually like one who's like trying to advocate like wearing dry rot and being honest about it, and not ripping it to parts and kind of.
And if you know it's dry rot, you might as well rock it. And if something bad happens, what are you going to do anyway? You weren't going to sell it to somebody, or
there's levels of it. There's like dry rot where you can't even put on.
Yeah, it just comes right off. Yeah,
you could smell it. It almost smells like maple. Everyone says.
Yeah, okay.
It's a gross smell. And then there's ones that you wouldn't know, but if you pull it enough, it's going to kind of rip.
Yeah, I mean, if it's an older garment of any kind, it could, I think that tees were. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but they were definitely just made better. Some of them back then. You could feel the materials.
Yeah, I think it goes into like quality of work. Like people had more pride of doing what they used better material, better ink.
You know what it is? Speaking of Mega Print Monday, so I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't really, and for those who don't know, I don't think we properly introduce you. I'll do that. Josh is big in the vintage tee community. For people that don't know, a lot of people probably recognize him. I've followed him forever. We've been boys for a little while, and if Futurepastnyc is his name on Instagram, probably on all platforms, I would assume.
Yeah, my eBay too. If you've actually probably even searched for hype gear, I'd say in the past like 8 years, you probably came across my eBay.
And I'm gonna be honest, like the thing that caught my eye with your page initially is like, it's just like nonstop crazy quality. I never even knew some of these tees existed. And what I was going to get at with the mega print was, I'm born in 84, right? I remember growing up in the 90s. I don't remember, I guess maybe people rocking some of these crazy mega print, like especially the Marvel shit specifically.
Yeah. I don't think I remember it really much either, too, when I was younger. And I used to, well, when Spawn came out, which I think is like 93, 94.
There are crazy Spawn shirts.
My father used to bring me to the comic stores and we would buy them. So that was kind of my first real, like, introduction into, like, comic book stores. Like, when I was younger, I didn't go. I watched the cartoons. I watched the Spider-Man cartoons. That's how I got connected to kind of all these characters.
Yeah.
I didn't, like, start reading them until I got older.
Yeah. I was, you know what it is? I got into it early because of the cartoons and shit. Yep. And I had older brothers and they had comic books and I kind of was like, oh, so these are the same dudes I'm seeing on TV, blah, blah, blah. But it's amazing because there's so much in comic book characters. There's toys, there's figures, like all of that shit. And then the merch is crazy. Right. Like the hat you're wearing, I got that same exact hat. Yours is slightly crispier than mine.
This one I got in a haul.
That thing is super white. Mine's a little off-white.
I got a big haul in Pittsburgh. I can't believe I'm forgetting that name right now, but I got like 4 or 5 of different Marvel hats.
There's a few hats. Now, I got a little crazy in the hat game for a while, and then I did really well. Caught a lot of people slipping on eBay. You know what it is? And we're going to get into some eBay shit. Because a lot of people ask me what I do on eBay, and I know there's tips, all this kind of shit you can do. But I would always find, there was like a 6-month period where I was finding random people that, when you find something you think is a good deal on eBay, you go to their page. You want to see if they're specifically selling shit.
Save their page.
Right. And you know what happens a lot of times with me? I'll find something dope on eBay, a vintage tee, but in this case, hats, that they're selling teapots and screwdrivers. Those are my favorite. Because then I realized, you have no idea. Right. You just went to the thrift store and you're selling an $8 hat.
Yeah.
I got that Carnage hat for like $40. Yeah. And I was like, and it was one of those people. They had just like old trinkets and weird shit. And I was just like, okay.
I think it goes back to both of us kind of just being like pickers, right? Like eBay for me was like my escape when I couldn't have a car or didn't even know I wanted to do flea markets. Like eBay was my like flea market always of finding just shit, whatever it was.
And it always feels like there's a treasure on there somewhere.
Oh my God.
Like it's nonstop. When I was, especially during the pandemic when it was like in its height, I was on eBay hours and hours and hours a day. Yeah. And I was searching such random shit, but it was working out. It was just like we were talking about these sneakers. I got these Sega Sport crazy promo sneakers for $30. And once again, it was on a dude's page that was selling the most random, obscure shit and just way down at the bottom. And it's also the way they word shit. Like a lot of times I'll find shit, I might have gone on the page for the Carnage hat, and at the bottom of the page I found those. So
yeah, no, there's nothing better than going down like a rabbit hole on eBay, right? Like when you just have like aha moment where like you haven't been searching for something, and then now you're gonna, it's like,
or you find that item, and then you never knew it existed. Then you got to search it a million different times and shit.
There's like that high we're always chasing of finding treasures, right? We love to find things for better deals, or kind of leave some money on the bone for me. Like,
which is, I mean, when did you realize like this could be, you could make a living doing this shit?
You know what? It wasn't until like, even right now, it's like. I don't even know if I'm doing it right or if I'm like can sustain it, but I'm trying to make it work.
I think is that the thing? Is it the long term? That's kind of the sketchy part about it.
I think it's more about, for me, it's like being able to kind of like try it out. Like if it doesn't work, I could go back to kind of what I was doing. So it's like, let me try to make it work, and like I love it. Like work for me is going to virtual, right?
Yeah.
In Arizona.
Shout out Chris, Wiz, everybody,
to the whole vintage community, everyone that fucks with me.
It's a really great thing.
And, I shout out to Chris that he kind of broke that during the pandemic. People were like, yo, I can make bread online selling vintage.
Yeah.
And like, it kind of pushed me to even say, all right, like, let's try it out. I could make X amount of dollars each month. And is that like really what still happens now? Maybe not, right? Things have kind of changed. The pandemic blew stuff up. But I think
is that just real quick, and I don't want to get off topic, but I think it's important you said that, because I am nowhere near in deep into the game like you are and Wiz and all of them, right? But I've noticed and I've seen people talking about prices as of late as compared to about a year ago. So it was you think that that's what it was? It was hype mixed with the pandemic, and
it's like I think vintage on all levels is high, right?
Yeah.
Like we can't deny that. Like maybe some of those certain pieces that went for astronomical numbers on lives and kind
$6,000 Genie T.
Right, like that's not being.
Would
sold.
that happen right now?
No.
Okay.
I would love to see what it would go for now. It'd probably go for like, I would say 1,500
right.
at best, maybe
right.
less.
But it's amazing what hype can do and what.
It's just that, and the one thing about vintage that I will say that it's what somebody's willing to pay at that point.
Right.
Right. Like and I think if they value it that price and hold it on to it forever, they'll probably even make some money on their investment, or they might just keep it and say, all right, the shirt's only worth $3,000, but I spent $6,000. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I wanted it at that time.
I think you know what it is. I think a lot of people, when they're really passionate about shit, those are the people like. And I've been that guy for certain games and certain things. Like, yo, I'll pay up the money. And a lot of those things at the time when I was paying up the money, I had kept. And years later, it's like a 400% return. Right. So I got the best of both worlds. I enjoyed it. I loved it. And when it's time to move on, I'm more than good on my investment.
Yeah, because you weren't buying it to resell
right.
or flip it. You just loved it so much you were willing to pay up the price.
Right.
And that's...
Well, and you were saying, we were on the balcony before when you got here just talking, and you were saying that, like, you know, I was talking about a tee as an investment. You're like, well, it's not. Don't look at it like that.
Yeah.
You got to go with the buy what I always say, buy what you love. Just buy what you love and don't worry about it. The second you start getting extra with I'm only buying this because it's going to go up. And then,
you do get caught up in it, but if you believe in it and you're going to stick to your guns, and you're like, I'm not going to sell this till I get what I think it's worth. You might be waiting a year or two, right?
Right, and
but
that's
if you
the thing.
don't care to do that, right? It's like an investment. Like you throw money in the bank, you throw money on a stock. When are you ready to cash out?
Yeah.
Realistically, right? You know,
right.
It's like it's all just.
A lot of times people want the quick money. You know, sometimes you win. The guy gets the last laugh that waited the 5 years on the team. You know, or some people. Doyle forever has been saying that the gaming, the retro gaming bubble, the market is it's ready to burst like at any second. Yeah. He's been saying that for about 4 years now. He's pretty fucking wrong about that.
I've been dying to find some vintage.
I'll be honest. That's another thing. You know, we will talk about it more a different show. But I just let go a ton of stuff out of the collection, and I got to be honest. I feel good about it. Like, I've gotten rid of that, and I still have. We were just looking through. Yeah. I still have a ridiculous amount of shit. But it was weird for me, but at the same time, like, I didn't feel bad about it, and I got a great return on my money, which is good, which is going to end up going to more shit. Or, like we were speaking about, you know, we could set up a situation in the place here where we can have a private shopping experience or a pop shop of some kind. Because I noticed that that's what you specialize in also.
Yeah, it's like, I'm trying to figure out more avenues to kind of, I guess, make money, right? But still doing what I think is good for the vintage community.
I was going to say, keep the integrity.
Yeah, like, at the end of the day, like, our next event is free.
Right.
I want my vendors to be so happy saying, you got 500 people to walk through and buy my clothes. I sold out. Like, that's the goal, right?
Yeah.
All my vendors make great money. Not even me. They make more than me.
Right.
And to just get people in the door, talk, connect, because it's called the East Coast Connection. That's like the venue, me, Fresh Kills, and
you guys just did the one up north that I couldn't come to, but the fucking Redman was there.
Redman was there. Yeah. Like, we went all out.
The layout was incredible. That spot was great.
We went all out, and you know, maybe we went too hard, but we wanted to give people like that. Like
a premium vintage shopping experience.
We tried to do something, and I think we accomplished it, right? Like, now did we make tons of money? No, we didn't. I'll be honest with you, we didn't make any money.
Right.
Not any, but in the grand scheme
of
things,
considering how grand it was, and
but everyone else had a great time. So to me, that's still a success, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm a brand. I'm selling like myself. I also sell vintage, right? But I'm selling like me as a person.
100%.
I'm not a scumbag. I'm looking out for people. So like, to me, that's that's leveling up something in my like.
You got currency, you got networking currency, you
Right.
got word of mouth
To
currency.
me, that's worth more than money.
It totally is, because that's the long game.
Right.
That's the long game, is creating a customer base that will return to you.
Right.
You know, people definitely buy you. Like, you know, people. I've sold things to people online that just have been like cool with me for a while and supported what I did, and they're just like, I just want to buy something from you.
Right.
That's like whatever.
Right.
And
That-
so
even
like
me when I bought all those
100%.
Right.
You
When
bought
you-
a bunch of figures, a whole
figures, I
totes
still
and shit.
have. I
Yes.
still have a bunch of those. Like, you
That
know,
was a
and it
lot.
was like, to me, it was like just, you know, shout out to Wiz, like he says, like the DM is worth more than like the item, right? Like,
100%.
me just talking to you and kind of building that relationship to me is worth more than whatever you sold me, whatever
Word.
I'm gonna make.
Word.
You know?
Yep.
And sometimes that's just how it works out in this game. You can't kind of be afraid to.
And that can't be a forced thing, you know.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes people try to force a relationship,
wasn't forced. It
no,
was
no, no,
just like-
totally super organic, and
Right.
it's the way it's supposed to work, and you know, and that's what leads to bigger and better things. And the cool thing I see within the vintage community is there's so much opportunity, because there is so many great people that are willing to just network and make moves. And like, bro, like you got on a plane to come here with your family and but you made time to come through and do this and build. And like, it's, you know, that's
But
a
I
good
love this
thing.
shit, too.
No,
I
of
love,
course,
like,
of
just
course.
kicking it and talking to people and kind of bouncing ideas, and you know, what we're doing is like I didn't plan like shout out to everyone that does events. I didn't say like I want to do an event, right? East Coast Connection started organically. A homie came out from Houston.
Mm-hmm.
It was during pandemic. Nobody was doing things. I said, fuck it, let's get together. We went to Staten Island. Shout out to Richmond Hood. That's Redman's store,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah, okay, and
That's
Staten,
where
yeah.
the homie Fresh Kills manages and works still.
Got you.
So it was just like an organic, like let's meet up and let's just chop it up.
Word.
And it turned into kind of, you know, snowballed in some a little bit better. And I think that some of my best ideas are from just smoking pot and talking to Pete, Fresh Kills, and then we just come up with like, oh, that's a good idea. Let's
Yeah.
run with it.
Yeah. Blunts to the face, great ideas. They go together. I mean,
They
it,
definitely
dude.
do. I mean,
I absolutely, I'm already a little bit of an eccentric person, but when I smoke and I get creative,
yeah,
it's like, I mean, that's already a proven thing. It's,
Yeah.
I mean, tons of creators, you know.
yeah. It's just
We're
something
advocates of
opens, yeah.
marijuana on the
Yeah,
Retro and Rare
definitely.
podcast. Yes.
So it opens up something in my brain that makes me like not maybe scared to jump as much. Or just,
Correct.
Just say an idea that might be you would think be dumb if you were sober, but you smoke.
Yeah, and
it's
you
like, oh,
feel it. Yeah, and it
fucking
makes
like-
sense.
Yeah.
It always makes sense.
Yeah, like you'll say, like I'll say shit, think I like found the Holy Grail, right? But I don't write it down.
Yeah.
I'm getting better at writing some of these ideas.
That
down.
is good. You open the notes on your phone.
Yeah.
And then you could read it back and either go,
Yeah.
what the fuck happened?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
that was a bad idea.
Yeah.
It sounded good at the time.
But you know what? I really do think that the private boutique, pop-up shop, those kind of things I wouldn't say the future, because it's not like it hasn't been going on for a minute.
Yeah.
But I really see it when somebody like me, who's not as deep, like I said, as you are,
Yeah.
I could see it happening. That means something is really big happening. It's exactly like what you're doing.
Yeah, because it's like it's organic, right? This is like you. This is how you want to live, and then it's like with this spot. I mean, I feel like it's like a no-brainer, like, and like people are gonna come and make appointments. And it's like, not that they have to spend something, but it's like, yo, you're coming into my crib.
If you're going out of your way,
Right.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like
like there's a line at the Gucci store, the mall I was sending you to for your family. Go to the Millennium Mall. There's always a line at the Gucci and the Louis store. You know why? When you wait on that line and you're like, fuck, I've been waiting on this line for 19 minutes now, and then they give you a personal shopper, you feel obligated to spend money.
Yeah,
Now
you
that's
do.
not as much an organic thing because it's Gucci and it is what it
No.
is. But it's just that what you're saying is coming here.
Exactly.
You just and I want to create a vibe where it's just like.
Like you're giving them an experience along with
Yeah.
an item, all right? Or they're
Yep.
like they're gonna come here and probably find something that they can't find somewhere else, or that they even want even more because you handpicked it too. Some people
Correct.
just
Curating
want-
is a big
yeah.
deal. And, a lot of people, I got to be honest, I can't call myself as much as a curator. I'm the curator
No, I
of
think
fire
you are.
mids.
No, but
Okay.
not even about vintage clothes. Let's talk
No,
about
I was
all
going to
the
say,
other
but
stuff.
on the gaming side of shit,
Yeah.
I think that I've just, through my taste and my passion over years and years and years, and I think that that's what true curation is.
Yeah.
You got to have time in the in the game to really be able to talk that kind of shit. But
so people want to like if you're gonna like people like want to know what you like, right? Because you've been in for so long, so kind of what you are into, you like, should kind of hold some weight because you're gonna stand behind it for a good reason. You're not just like, oh, I like this game because whatever.
Random, yeah.
Right.
Just like I was inspired by whoever, you know.
And like getting back to like, well, we didn't really bring it up, but kind of how I just stumbled on your page was like, you know, a homie just shared it or something. It was probably some crazy video game. It was definitely Street Fighter, which right gets me.
You love Street Fighter, yep.
With you know how you recorded it with the music in the background.
Yeah.
Like, there was just something about that made you feel like, all right, that's home. You know, like you just mixed in so many different things that normally wouldn't be together. And it's like, all right, like you had me at hello.
Yeah. No, I feel you. You know what it is? I felt like I was bridging a gap that didn't exist between, you know, like vintage, you know, music, you know, hip hop specifically, and the gaming thing. Because I think hip hop and gaming have such a great history together. Whether it's rappers rapping about their video game systems or games that are big, whether it's Def Jam Fight for New York or the Wu-Tang Shaolin style, or there's such a melding there, or the great soundtracks that have been on video games back in the day that were all hip hop based or punk rock based shit, you know. And I felt like it was like there was this stigma of like, if you're into old video games, you're just some weirdo nerd in your mom's basement. And I'm like, dude, I know so many cool ass people that just, and it's a nostalgia thing, right? So if you're of a certain age and you grew up in a certain time and you see not only the game that reminds you, but the song that reminds you with the music playing, and then there's a movie in the background, then there's a vintage tee, which just reminds me about a shirt that I sold to none other than Deadstock Lewis, right? Who seems to have every shirt. I don't understand.
Yeah, he's crazy.
I don't know what. So I sold him my Akuma shirt, the 3DO promo tee, for a undisclosed amount of money that was certainly low as fuck.
Right.
Because I had no idea, and it wasn't. And this is not a hate on Lewis at all. No. This is, no, not at all. It was me just. I had it for so long, and I never wore it. And I'll be honest, I was like, yeah, it's kind of yellow. The next day, he sends me a picture. Shit is bright white. You know, he did whatever the fuck you people do with this shit. I don't know.
I think it's his wife. I feel like
she knows. Oh, okay. She got the secret, bro. Because that shit was. But man, we were talking about that. I was just thinking because I saw a video. I was scrolling way down my Instagram page, and I was like, it was like 2 years ago, and I made a video. It was like a Jay-Z track, and I had that shirt, and I was just spinning it in a circle. Damn, that shirt was fire, bro. It was the 3DO promo. That's why it was crazy. Street Fighter 2.
And kind of like you, I feel like you could sell stuff too from like videos like that. Like,
it'd be a great,
like good, like you promoing. I feel like for like an event is gonna be crazy.
Yeah, because you know people that fuck with me, you know, it's because I just do my stories every day. I stopped posting because I didn't know what to keep posting like that, and I got into the story thing because it's just like. It's on there for a day, so you got to catch it. Yeah. And then just doing dumb shit or my daily whatever. And it's just a unique way to record and to promote your shit, which if you get creative with it, it's kind of dope. You know what I mean? I did the TikTok thing for a minute. My only video that went viral, 6 million views.
Oh, shit.
But it was the Pussy Wagon video. Did you see that?
Yes, I seen that Pussy Wagon.
That's going to be on Ridiculousness, by the way.
Really?
They emailed me,
Oh, that's sick.
They gave me an option they gave me some money, and then they said, if I wanted to like fully sell the video, it wasn't a lot of money. It was like a few $100s. Or they'll give me like a little less, but then I retain the right. So I did that one. And it's going to be on an upcoming episode. So I'm like, I haven't watched the show in a minute, but maybe it's already on. It was a few months ago.
I mean, it's like America's Funniest Home Videos.
Yeah.
You're going to laugh. You're going to see people doing dumb shit.
Well, that lady that pulled up on me that day was, shout out to her. She was just excited about the car. Yeah. I don't know what the fuck was going on.
That was great.
But, you know, it is like there's so many ways to promote your shit vintage wise. I see a lot of people do creative shit. Like your photos are fucking fire. You take time when you take a picture of something. The backgrounds, they're rugged sometimes. Like it makes sense with the T.
It started off where I was kind of driving around New York City because my job entailed it. You know, I'd go from one station. I did a low voltage electrical work.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so working on fire alarm panels. All throughout the New York City subways, so I would drive to different stations. We have jobs here, so I would drive somewhere, and I felt like again that was something you going back to you know taking your words, bridging the gap of like having a fucking crazy banger and being somewhere kind of cool.
Yeah.
Right? Like people were like taking artsy pictures of stuff.
Yeah.
But they didn't have this tea.
You could take a picture on a hanger on a wall, white wall.
Right.
Cool. It's still a great tee.
Still the tea, but yeah, like I liked something
The
about
lighting,
like,
the background,
right.
the chain link fence shit.
Yeah,
it
like
just looks.
seeing a place that I'm not gonna see again too.
Yeah.
So it was becoming
Yeah.
my thing where I'd always iron a couple of tees and bring them with me to work every
Yeah.
day. And I would just wait till I thought I found the best spot of the day, and I would take a pic.
Now, is that important etiquette in the vintage game? You got a banger, you got a dope tee. It's got to be. You can't just rock fucked up, wrinkled, just like anything.
I think, yeah.
Or you're supposed to look like you just grabbed it, like, yo, yeah, this is a $1,400 XYZ. I just grabbed it.
You
out
know
the...
what? I think some of the best vintage pictures, right, are the ones at the bins at the flea markets. Right? People,
Oh, when they're wrinkled as shit because they've been sitting in there.
they just pulled them.
Yeah.
So there's like a definitely like.
Or let me ask you this, a question. What about our next level from the bins, or maybe it's a couple levels up, and these people buy the bundles, like the
bales.
buy the bales, they do it by weight, I guess, or whatever.
That's another. Like,
And that because those are the ones I see when people pull out, they're wrinkled because those have been fucking sitting or they're so compressed.
those are cool too. I'm sure people love like those. Are
So
the
when
folks
I
that
see
buy
those,
them.
those guys are paying what? $5,000, $6,000, $10,000 for that giant. I know it depends on the weight.
Yeah, I think it's
Okay. So
and then there's grades of it. There
How
could be
the
stuff
fuck-
that's already been picked?
Oh,
So, like they know it's good stuff. And
That's what I
stuff
was
that
gonna
like
ask.
no one's picked yet, and it's like it's probably 90% dog shit.
okay.
And it's like you gotta then pay to have it like picked back up.
So
and
where
delivered
does it
back.
come from originally?
I think originally
Who's putting that shit in a bale?
So I think it's crazy that it comes from the U.S. right,
Okay.
and then it goes to like a country, like a starving country. That
Okay.
needs,
Third
like-
world, and yeah.
Right. I think it goes to Pakistan first.
I always wondered what happened to the T-shirts of the team that lost, and usually that's what happens in like
Yeah.
Super Bowls. You see like a homeless guy with like a giant. I'm like, the Giants didn't win in 2018,
Yeah,
bro.
It's like it gets donated a lot of the clothes to like a country. It goes there, then they make them and then they sell them back to us. I think it's like a 6 cycle. That it literally comes from the U.S., goes to them, and then they send it back to us.
Now, that brings me to another question. Is there dope ass, like a lot of these tees I'm seeing, like are they mostly U.S. based or
Now you get a lot of some overseas stuff.
that
too,
was
like-
only overseas? For instance, there are certain games, there are certain anything, sneakers or whatever. So, I mean, most of the mega prints and shit for Marvel, let's say, they're U.S. based, right?
Yeah, I'd say most of those. Are
So
US.
which ones what would be a dope ass tee that's like an overseas tee?
So
Like,
they have like they made oversized overprint shirts, but they weren't really like screen printed. They were more of like the what's that called when it's like already on there, and then they make the shirt. It's
Like
not
a
screen
press,
print.
like a-
yeah, like it's
I think I know what you're talking
wish
about. I don't know what
had a
it's
brain fart.
called.
I know it. I obviously know the word. I just can't say it. I can't think of it. I should say. But yeah, Euros didn't go crazy with the all over prints.
That was definitely
For
it
Marvel,
was an
at least.
American thing. I
Yeah,
can see.
I would say definitely.
Man, I just would say before, like, I never seen one of my friends back in the day rocking. I got the Magneto fucking.
Never. I think because it went back to probably most of the people that were buying them were kind of not the stylish ones. They were more of the geeky.
And I was gonna
ones.
say they weren't looked at as cool back then. Like if you're rocking a fucking Wolverine going ham and it's just like a giant Wolverine face, they're like, look at this idiot. He's not rocking like a members only jacket or some shit.
So
Like
it probably wasn't as hip as it was. And
right.
I
Well,
feel
just like the
people were
rap
just keeping them
tees.
sealed.
The rap tees to me now, I saw a lot of rap tees growing up. I remember going in, I'm from Long Island, but going in the city especially, man, especially the bootlegs are crazy. I know that there are ones that are in like that book that were like specifically
the
made.
rap tees
But
books,
the bootlegs were like, and now I see some of the prices on bootlegs. Bootleg culture is crazy too.
Yeah.
Now explain to people, because there's always an argument. People don't understand. Bootlegs aren't necessarily fakes, right? They're a separate, an artist rendering of some sort.
Yeah, I think it's like during that time, people just kind of took it on their own to make T-shirts of artists that the own company didn't. They would make more promotional shirts that probably weren't even sold. They were given out.
And they were produced in way less numbers.
Yeah.
than the official rap tee ones.
Right, because there was some guy who was making them and selling them to maybe CD stores around
Right.
New York.
Locally.
Right?
Yeah.
Or
Now
at
you
events.
I've seen like a lot of Mexican Marvel bootlegs. Like I seen the Carnage shit is crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of like my new obsession.
I've noticed that recently
Yeah.
on your page. Like I saw this Carnage shirt, and it was just like a mega print,
Yeah.
like crazy.
And I'm nuts. Like same. We were kind of. I didn't want to bring it up, but we're kind of talking back of like overpaying for stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't care, right? Because I'm gonna keep it.
Yeah.
And now I'm gonna kind of like not buy them all up, but I'm gonna just watch that market, right? And if there's other ones that pop up that I see that I think are worth a lot of money, like I'm gonna try to scoop them up.
Get ahead of the game, bro. You're finding. I mean, because bro, I mean, how much do those tees? Are they less expensive than like the official?
Well, they're still very expensive
Yeah.
to the right person.
Right.
Maybe someone's like, I would never spend.
So we're talking $1,200 to $3,000 range.
I would say yeah.
Wow.
But I would say that the original mega prints
Yeah.
are now hitting numbers that are like doubling that. So
Yo,
it's
I like the idea that you could walk down the street and there could be a guy with a Gucci jumpsuit on and your tee is more than his whole shit.
Yeah,
and and mostly nobody has any idea.
But see, like, I think there's a weird like that doesn't like a weird difference between like a vintage shirt that someone is like very nostalgic about and loves and I would spend $6,000,
Right.
and then someone spending high end on like Gucci. Like they aren't
The
two
Gucci
different-
guy definitely, you could almost say, just wants to wear it because it's Gucci and it wants to be seen. The other guy could be like, dude, I really just love Carnage. I'm not even into anything else. I just wanted this fucking tee so bad.
But I think even the guy that's buying Gucci, very fashionable, probably knows what's in style, right? He's
Yeah,
kind of
on the high fashion side.
Like
Yeah.
he kind of has more of a street to fashion than maybe the guy buying vintage, right?
Yeah.
Like even me, I feel like I dress like shit. I just
Well,
wear little shirts.
I'm going to tell you,
know?
I
Like,
love in the vintage community that everybody, I won't say everybody because everyone is influenced by all of our styles, but it's more of your tee is like your base and whatever the fuck else you want to wear, it's more like, and it's the self-expression aspect is
Right,
so much better than buying a Gucci this or that because
Exactly.
you could go buy a Gucci this and that. And you may not find that fucking tee. And also, you rocking that tee, there's not many other people that day rock. You know, it's just...
Yeah.
And then you put on a pair of fucking corduroys and the colors don't match, but it still looks fly as shit.
Yeah.
I think those are the flyest kind of looks, you know?
Yeah, I think it's like self-expression is huge.
Yep.
You know, I think that's what it is all about.
Yeah.
Actually, you know.
100%. And I see a lot of people in the community that are... you know, super righteous about that whole thing about,
Yeah.
you know, there's a lot of people, I wonder how you feel about like, buying new clothes. Like some people they will not buy new clothes at all. Cause you know, it's more on an environmental thing, which to me, I hate to sound pessimistic, but we're already fucked. I mean, I understand everyone wants to do their part. So, and one thing I will say is the quality of the tees now seem to be garbage.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
I think it's for me also getting back to kind of like the question. I don't really buy new clothes, and I don't think it's because like I'm trying to stop the environment from doing shit. I think it's just like I'd rather go find it at a thrift for a quarter the price.
and it's fun if they're finding it, right?
Yeah, like I find that sometimes I'm going thrifting. It's like more for the fun even than.
But
making a
let's
profit.
also keep it real. You've gone thrifting like I have, 8 hours and found nothing.
Yes.
Right. I mean, a lot of people, especially the younger cats, which
Yeah.
I appreciate the young cats coming in the game. It's cool. You know, Doyle's one of these motherfuckers that I've been screaming at for years. He thinks you just go to a thrift store and there's just, he always brings up the Vince Lombardi jacket. That some guy randomly found Vince Lombardi's jacket and it was like a $35,000 jacket. And that's great. But I'm like, that's not every day that's going to happen, bro. There have been many days where I've driven 200 miles and found nothing.
Yeah, it was somebody. I don't know who I was speaking to on a podcast. Someone was like, to be like the best batter, right? You bat like 357.
Yeah, out of
So
a
it's perfect.
1,000 would be perfect batting, and
Right.
357 would be crazy high.
Right. So that's only him.
Every
hitting
10
it.
times you get up, it's 3 times.
So that's the same thing with vintage, going thrifting, right?
There you
It's
go.
like,
You just
you're
look
gonna-
at Doyle's eyes lit up like
you're
a
gonna
child.
swing
You just
out
made it make sense.
So many times, but when you do hit and you connect,
Yeah, it is. That's
like
worth it.
that's when it's worth it because the margins are there.
Yeah.
Right. It's like you're getting stuff for $2, even if it's worth $30.
Yeah.
You know, I come from like doing stuff illegally, like those are good profits, right? Like,
Yeah, you got to look at. I got into a little bit where Doyle would actually yell at me because I was getting to a point where if it wasn't me buying a $2 tee that I know is not worth $200 or more, I don't even want it. He's like, bro, this is a $40 shirt you could sell. I'm like, yeah, but it's the wrong way to look at it. But I was also on a small scale and didn't give a fuck, and I wasn't running a company. It didn't make sense for me.
When I was going thrifting, so again, with going back to me, like driving around, I had a lot of free time waiting for my technician to come work when I worked work at the electrical company. So I would go to thrifts, and I used to leave shit that now I would never leave.
Goddamn.
Because I was just like, I was kind of looking for that $100 shirt or more. So
you were going for the home run every time and not realizing that you got to have the bread and butter. And then in between you have gems and then bread and butter and then gems. Yeah.
And I've actually thrifted like a really good Dennis Rodman NWA shirt for $2.
Dope. See?
So
that's
that was
fire.
like a nice find. And I've found a bunch of shit. And yard sailing, I've come up on a crazy horror haul. I found a guy who worked for like an event that went yearly. Why can't I think of the name of it? I'll get back to it when I think of the
like
name.
Fright Fest, like something, one of those kind of things. Okay, I got you.
It was like a big one.
But this was back in the day when he was doing it. Right? Okay,
he worked for everyone. He worked the staff, so I got from like 89 to like 95.
Which is golden age-ish, those
like
tees.
A horror convention show.
Fire.
It was called. Why can't I think of the name? Because everyone had the name on it. This is why you don't smoke pot.
Yeah, well, the yin and the yang. Their short-term memory is affected, but it's still worth it.
Yes. Chill Theater.
Okay. Well, what tees were they though? They're like Freddy Krueger shit, like that kind of shit.
More classical horror monsters, like
old school.
Old school.
Like Nosferatu.
Yeah.
Yo,
like
Nosferatu.
Like crazy. I got like 20 of them. He had like mummy shirts. He had Frankenstein. Just
the OGs.
OG
That's
stuff.
dope.
And that was just from yard sale. And he was wearing a shirt that I offered to buy for a good price. You know, I didn't lowball him. And that opened the door for me to come back and him show me.
How many times have you bought a shirt off somebody's back?
Only twice.
I've done it once.
Yeah.
You know what I bought?
What?
Final Fantasy VII promo shirt off a middle-aged man. And I was at a electronics store waiting in line. And I noticed the shirt when he walked in the store. And then when he went past me and I saw the back print and I saw a cloud and it was fire. And I was like, immediately I said, okay. I went up to him. I said, sir, it's a little weird. I'm going to give you this shirt. You're going to go in the bathroom. I'm going to give you two $20 bills. You're going to swap and you're going to give me that shirt. And he was like, what? And I was like, listen, and I was like, I'll give you $50. And then we started talking. He ended up doing it. I bought him a Captain America shirt. I was like, and he owned a comic book store for like 30 years. And then he also was like, oh, and I have a bunch of old video games. And the next day he pulled up, I gave him a $20 bill and he gave me a milk crate full of about 100 vintage games that were fire.
Oh my God.
So it's like, and that's the only time I ever bought a shirt off somebody. And then I sold that shirt for a undisclosed, way too low price, much like I did to Deadstock Lewis for the Akuma shirt. It was in that same period. That shirt, because that shirt's about a $300 shirt, I would say. I sold it for like 70% less than that. Yeah. I just thought I don't need it anymore, and that one fit me. That was fucked up, man. I don't know why I did that, but it was a good experience. And I was gonna. The point is always ask. And you rolled up to that guy, and you could have just left it at that one shirt. Yeah, what did he say? I got mad shirts in the back.
No, so this is what happened. So he was wearing Frank Vincent. Am I saying?
Frank Vincent?
Vincent Price.
I'm like Frank Vincent?
Vincent Price, the guy who used to like announce like the Twilight Zone, I think.
And I thought, did he do like the House on Haunted Hill original shit?
He's definitely an OG.
Yeah. You know his face when you see it.
Slick back hair.
Yeah.
So like, I went right away when I seen him wearing it, and it was dated like '93. He was like, yo, that shirt you're wearing is phenomenal. Like, I would buy it like off your back. Like, he's like, really, this shirt? No, it was kind of worn.
Yeah.
He was like, my buddy did the artwork for this shirt. I was like, oh, wow, that's crazy. Like, I felt like that was even cooler that he knew the artwork. It was kind of like a local
Now, this is a shirt you've never seen before, as opposed to like, oh, it's a Biggie Smalls rap tee. Like, it.
Like a weird.
I like those. To me, I like those better.
That was, so we got to a number, and he was like, all right, let's do it. He goes into his house to get another shirt the shirt's even crazier than the one he just sold me. I'm like, yo, I was like, I need to buy that one off you too. He's like, what? Are you kidding me? Like, he's like, I like this one. I think it was a mummy. It was no, the classic Wolfman.
Oh, Wolfman. I like that.
It was
I fuck with the wolves.
Mommy, it was one of those classics because he had like 3 or 4 that ended
Yeah,
up
yeah,
buying
yeah.
So I think
They were like the original monsters.
yeah,
or whatever.
the original monster on a changes tag, single stitch, like a
Creature from the
90s
Black
print.
Lagoon shit.
I got a Creature
Oh,
from the Black
that's
Lagoon.
fire.
Yeah, I never seen it. So he had all of them. So
That's dope.
I gave him my number. We called me back like a week later. I came through. He showed me all of them. I bought like 30 tees off.
Wow.
And I gave him the number that I gave him the one I bought off his back, which wasn't bad. Like it was a pretty good number.
Okay.
And then I feel like I kind of got him, but at the time I didn't think it was that good. So all the convention shirts that said staff on the back kind of gave me for half the price.
Oh, okay.
I'm realizing now that those are actually better than the ones that we priced.
Yeah. Well,
and it wasn't really even I was like, oh, people aren't gonna want these. Like I didn't do my research.
Yeah, you didn't know. It ended up working in your benefit,
Right.
though, at the
But
time.
at the time, I was like, I'm not gonna pay up on these because I feel like they're gonna be harder moves. And in reality, they were just better tees.
And also, we were talking outside before about the value of not trying to super lowball people or scumbag people. Build good relationships when, you especially initially with somebody and they have a bunch, because you never know down the line. I feel like, and you made a good point, like it's important to build that relationship with somebody and make it so everyone feels good on both sides. Because if you sell something to somebody and they feel weird or you feel weird, it's like...
You feel like you're ripping them off completely. Like, you're
yeah.
Like, listen, I knew that it was a good buy when I did it, obviously.
Yeah.
But I could have, like, offered him way less. And like, the guy's a cool dude. I hooked him up with weed.
Oh,
like,
it's perfect.
Like, he calls me now if he needs bud and shit. Like, I'll come out. And, like, now he's just my dude. Like, Same thing with another guy that I did a huge buyout with. And it wasn't as crazy grail pieces, more mids.
Right.
But he's just my dude. Like, and, like, he's like an older cat. He's like 60 or 70. And I'll just meet up and smoke a J with him.
Hell yeah, bro.
Like,
I mean, you definitely meet dope people doing
yeah.
this shit. And things, you never, and that's the important thing. Like, the karma about it all is like, you treat people right, that'll come back to you, man.
Yo, crazy story. That's kind of off topic.
Good. I like crazy stories.
Just like I bought, like a homie went live on Instagram to sell a shirt that he knows I wanted.
Okay.
I bid it on it, and it went for like way lower than I know he wanted, right?
Okay.
And now this dude's hooked me up with Lobs, which is like he's sending me good prices on shirts.
Just easy shit.
Like he's looked out, so I knew he wanted more for that shirt. And I want the shirt. It was a Jim Carrey Riddler movie promo.
That's
shirt.
dope.
It's one of my favorite tees.
And those are like more of a mega print, right? Or kind of
huge,
yeah. I know which one you're talking about.
Back hit.
A lot of question marks.
Yeah, and I was like, yo, listen, I know you want more from that. If you don't want to sell it to me for the price, hold on to it. He's like, dude, like I'd appreciate that. No problem. Tell me how I found the shirt for half of the price that I was gonna buy it. No, a third of the price.
Wow.
On eBay like a snipe.
Wow.
Like it was just like I just waited. I kind of like pushed it off.
Patience is a virtue.
For like way less, and it's like I didn't have to hurt nobody.
Yeah.
eBay,
eBay buyer, boom, done. Ship it to your house. You're done.
It was a live auction, like so everyone could have got it, and it was like I just like that karma came back to me.
Well, what is your experience? You do a lot of lives and selling. You put me onto the blind bid situation.
Yes.
That seems to be good on both sides.
Yeah.
Because then you have raffles, right? Mm-hmm. Raffles are what they are, which is like I have $1,000 shirt. I'll let 10 people in, and you just do X amount of dollars per ticket, which is a good idea, I think, because if I'm like, fuck it, I really like the tee and I'll throw in a 20. If I lose the 20, whatever, but shit, if I get that tee for 20,
we all gamble.
And then the seller gets their price
they get the shirt.
Now explain how the blind bid works.
So blind bid started from 2 guys from Canada, actually. One guy, I always butcher his name, so I'm not gonna say either one, but they originally started it. And the concept is, so a buyer walks into the live and they see 4 different people to choose from, right? So they say, I want to spend $500. Let's just give an example, $500. Show me what you got. Mm-hmm. Now your goal is supposed to it's almost supposed to hurt. It's supposed to be like you're gonna hook this dude up right now. Like he's willing to spend $500 with you guys without even seeing an item. make it worth it now. Come correct.
Right.
It's kinda
Okay. Okay.
And it's kind of morphed into people kind of just showing stuff what the value's worth. I don't know if it's kind of I try to, like, if someone throws a big number, I try to, like, I've failed, obviously, because every blind bid haven't been chosen half the time.
Right.
Half the time somebody else gets chosen. But that's the goal, is to kind of hook up someone that's willing to gamble on you without even seeing an item.
That's kind of a dope concept.
Yeah.
And I could see why it would work. Yeah, because you were
Fun-
you were
it's fun
explaining
TV.
it. Yeah, it is. I was gonna say, and then you get a viewership watching it.
Yeah.
I think the live aspect of that, which once again the ingenuity of the vintage community creating different things through live.
So,
Yeah. I like the blind bit. Now, when the auctions are happening live, right? Are you noticing that, okay, for the most part they're going for more than they should due to the hype, which is the point of an auction, which makes sense. I mean, I watch collector car auctions all the time, and I'm seeing cars going for $150,000 more than they should based on people in the room.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some people want to be like, oh, I got more money than you, that kind of shit.
There's
And,
a lot of that. I think there's a lot of, there's a crowd behind you.
yeah.
It makes it a little bit easier to kind of bid, and then we all know that you don't want to get outbid, you want to win that item.
Yeah, of course.
On a live during the pandemic and kind of leading up to now, I mean, yeah, people are kind of overpaying for items.
Yeah.
At a certain point,
And it's hard to really say what overpaying
Right,
is. It's hard, right? There are certain
it's almost
teas.
maybe overpaying is the wrong word. Even it's like maybe just like
Paying up, like not getting steals. Okay, definitely not getting a steal. Yeah,
not getting a steal. Yeah, I guess overpaying.
because I guess at the end of the day, the question really is, if you really want a tee, are you going to be able to find it at a thrift store, or are you just going to spend the money? Like I told you, I did that with the Maximum Carnage shirt because I knew I was not. And it's not never say never, like whatever.
Yeah,
but
no,
realistically, if I went out every day for 8 hours the next 5 years, I probably wouldn't find that shirt.
No, I don't think you would.
It's not going to happen. So
Yeah, and I think it's like the luck of the draw, like especially if you're not doing like bales with those big things, like,
Yeah.
and you're only doing racks.
well, those
and
guys end up
scenarios.
becoming the bigger sellers, right? I mean,
Yeah.
the only reason somebody would spend 10 grand on a bale of teas they never seen is there's figuring if there's 8 to 10 real big boy grails in there out of, I mean, how many? I mean, a few thousand teas that are in there.
I personally have never went through a bale yet.
Yeah.
I really want to
Okay.
skip everybody and get to the real connect, but I know it's a
Which
lot.
even beyond that,
Yeah,
the dude that's
beyond-
importing or exporting like
Yeah, like
major
one of
like
those-
shipping crates full of shit.
Yeah, like Pakistan, like going to Pakistan.
But
like,
those guys aren't going through looking for Tony Braxton rap tees though. Like, I mean, do they know, or
I
are they
think-
just
yeah, I
moving a big product? They don't.
I think it gets
There's
like-
probably insider shit going
Yeah,
on.
it gets cut off at certain areas where it's like it's not being viewed, but it's just getting put together and sold, and then
Yeah.
they go through it.
You got to make friends with those people.
Yeah, and they're picking out the stuff,
Mm.
and then you could, like, I heard there's ways to kind of make your own bale, where it's like
So you go in a room full of 80 trillion shirts and you
like
pick how
and you pick and you make it.
like a warehouse full of shirts.
Yeah, must be like definitely a big warehouse in Europe somewhere. like,
God damn,
like
bro.
somewhere.
It exists somewhere.
Asia, one of these places, and it's like you're gonna have to be there for like 2 weeks straight to make your bale, but your bale's gonna be everything you hand picked.
Yeah,
So that's the move.
yeah.
But
Well, you're cutting out multiple middlemen
Yeah,
there. I
you're
mean,
cutting out, like,
by
3 or
the
4.
time that tee gets to an Instagram live auction,
yeah,
You
and
know.
you're getting and you have to pay to go somewhere, and you have to literally go. To
yeah, that would have to be a hell of a guarantee to
Yeah.
make sure.
You're gonna spend. You're probably gonna get into it for like 30 racks or 20 racks.
Yeah.
it's got to be worth.
And then you better hope that there's quality shit
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I mean-
Like, you might not leave until you make that bail. And
So,
how long is that gonna take?
More on the local level, we were kind of talking about this before, but like people that buy, and these are terms that people in the vintage community know, some of the people may not know, but like buying something off the rack versus going to the bins. Now the bins on paper are a better idea because it's more direct. You're getting
It's
first
cheaper.
pick before, right?
Yeah,
and
it's
before
cheaper.
it goes there, right? It's
Before it
way
goes
cheaper.
out, yeah, it's way cheaper. So it's like, but some racks also too, just things that walk in, they put right in the racks. Right, so bins are kind of more like donations and like maybe those like things that you dump in.
Yeah.
Right? Like, so there's a lot of stuff that hits the racks that's never gonna see a bin.
Yeah, and you know what I noticed too, somewhere like
locations.
Goodwill, they're putting out shit constantly.
Yeah.
You know, I used to be the guy, like I'm the first one there all the time, but at 2 p.m. they might be putting out a fire shirt. You know, there's all type of shit that I do, like when I'm always waiting for them to bring more shit out, and then I just attack that rack first.
Yeah, that's always.
Yeah, but luckily where I go, there's really no nut jobs like me that's in there flipping through 1,000 shirts. Like I go through. Do you ever think in your mind like I have to go through every single shirt right now? Otherwise, I'm gonna feel like I missed it.
I say if you go thrifting and your arms don't hurt, you're not doing it.
Okay, good, because my arms.
If your shoulders ain't hurting,
Yeah,
you're not doing it.
I mean, I'm not in impeccable shape. I know that I look like I am. I'm not in impeccable shape, and I noticed that my arms, especially on the higher racks, I'm not necessarily the tallest guy either.
Yeah, no,
getting up there is
pain in
rough.
the ass.
Yeah, man, that's a
Those
little
hurt.
discriminatory towards.
Yeah,
people
whoever
like me.
makes those racks, like
Yeah,
get kicked
like
in the
who?
balls. Like,
Yeah,
those are
who's
just horrible.
who's searching for a vintage tee? Fucking Dikembe Mutombo,
Right.
bro. Like I
Those-
can't.
Yeah, those suck.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, no. If I go to a rack, I'm lucky I'm not going through every women's clothes. Like
You know what? That's a secret. The
That is a
motherfuckers don't
secret.
realize. Go to the women's section, and there's T-shirts over there, and they're just because, and dude, especially me, I like the wildlife tees. A lot of those were women's shirts to begin with,
Yeah.
and never mind that they're just mistakes.
I found like just think about this. I always think like a girl who borrowed her boyfriend's shirt got mixed into that donation pile. They're not gonna separate that.
They don't.
That's gonna be in a mixture with women's clothes. They're gonna put it with the men's.
Yeah.
clothes, with the women's clothes.
Yep.
So
I found crazy shit
me
in
too.
like.
I found a bunch of I feel like I always find like a vintage shirt in the women's
Yep.
section. Like always.
Yep.
Like it doesn't. I mean, it could be a shitty one that I'm gonna leave.
Now that leads me to my next question, which is the tag game, right? It's the most important.
Wow. Yeah.
I'll be
forget
honest.
that.
I've like once again, I always say I'm nowhere near in the depth that you are in it.
Yeah.
But it seems to be like you got to know your shit. Because I've been just like anything. I've been wrong where I'm like, no, this tee is definitely vintage because that's a vintage tag. And then I'm like, I'll send it to somebody and they'll be like, nah, that's like 2012. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I forget which one it was that did
Yeah,
that.
no,
to me.
you definitely like that helps me out when I could just go like this and I'm just looking for the
Yeah.
tag or like graphic and it's like I could bypass like a section like this
Yeah.
in like half a minute.
New
because-
Gildens, right? That's the.
Yeah, like so I'm looking for a tag, I'm looking for a graphic.
Sometimes single stitch on the side if you catch it.
Right.
Now, can you finally dispel rumors about single stitch from me?
Yeah.
What? Okay. Just because a tee, or I should say this, just because a tee isn't single stitch doesn't mean it's not vintage.
Yeah, well at this point and yeah, cuz vintage is 20 years old. So
Okay,
for
yeah, which
20
is
years,
crazy. That
yeah.
we're talking about the year 2000 roughly,
But
which
you could get double stitch in about
in the 90s they make
Yeah,
double stitch
yes,
shirt, right? So
definitely.
like some people,
all the way to like 90. I want to say like 95, 96 is when they were like starting to push them out.
Okay.
97. I'd say 97, 98, 99 is when they were kind of. I've seen double stitch on 97, 90s, and a lot of Euro stuff had double stitch in the 80s.
see. Okay, they were ahead of the game.
Yeah, they were like I would say late 80s, early 90s.
It is cool to find the single stitch whatever shirt though, you know, like
Yeah,
it's
'cause
just
you
more.
you know
it's
for a
vintage.
fact- well, not
Yeah.
know from the tag and the sleeve, but a lot of stuff's being made single stitch now. Like a lot of these modern boots and stuff.
Yeah.
They're doing single
I like
stitch.
I like some of the vintage community that makes their own bootlegs. One of them that I always buy is what's his name from Thrift Life. But because there are a lot of them are video game based, which are dope. I mean, because if you're gonna make a boot, you could do anything you want.
Yeah.
I'm actually gonna do something like that with the shirts that
Yeah.
I got from
Yeah,
you,
you should.
which were all like Screen Star, old school
Yeah.
single stitch black.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a perfect
Nice.
tee to throw that shit on. I just got to come up. My graphic designer that helps me out just broke his arm,
Oh,
so
shit.
he can't draw anything.
You
I'm like,
showed me a couple of mock-up or ideas.
yeah, I want to do, and I know you do. You do shit like that. Matter of
Yeah.
fact, you gave me a Venom polo
Right, yeah.
because it was my size because I'm
Yeah.
such an odd medium. I'm extra medium, like I like to call
Extra
myself.
medium.
Yeah. So if you find any extra medium shirts, but no, that Venom shit you sent me, and you downplayed it like I don't really like this one, bro. It's not that. It's okay. I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
it's phenomenal.
No, it can't. It was just.
It was just you experimenting with something at the
Right.
time.
It was like I mean I like to upcycle, so I use like vintage garments stuff that I've thrifted.
Yeah.
And kind of just give them a new life, do something to it, make it jazz it up a little bit. I did like my first tee. Well, actually, yeah, it was like a Venom. Todd McFarlane, he's like my favorite.
And I was gonna say that's your boy.
Yeah,
Todd
McFarlane's my guy. So it was like Eddie Brock and Venom hit on the front. I used vintage blanks, and I did some on like actual Marvel comic shirts that had like
That's
Venom already embroidered. So I just added like some screen printing to it.
Yeah.
Which I liked, but
now is that a passion of yours? You want to get more into making your own?
I've had since I kind of really dialed into vintage, I always thought that there's a way to kind of like get two like shirts out of one, and kind of print on old shirts.
Yeah.
Inside out too. I do like so. People are like, oh, it's weird. You do stuff. It's just whatever. It's just something that. It's like my thing.
Yeah, well, and I think that's great. It's uniquely you, and that's why people are gonna buy shit like that. I like
to like edit the tag a little bit, and I kind of want that to be my trademark, right? And then I'm kind of like, I could use any shirt, right? Like,
yeah, of course.
I could use any black balloon if I'm gonna use it inside, and I feel like people could also use it. Like I didn't fucking, I'm not the first person to print on.
Yeah, of course.
An inside out shirt.
No.
It's funny. I actually found like a promo for like an erotica film that was called Inside Out, and they actually printed. It was an HBO show. They printed it inside out.
Clever marketing.
Yeah, and it's a shirt that I own that I'll never sell.
That's fire though. Yeah, see, I like that idea, and it's unique.
Somebody had it before me, right? And they just
but you got your own take on it.
Yeah,
because you could do. I mean, I think we should work on something. Because I think there's definitely...
I got a plug, too, who makes great work.
Well, that's what I need. Because I got these ideas. I just need someone to physically be able to print on a shirt.
Right. As long as he won't... He's like, I'm like the copier, right? Like, you do all the work. You get it ready for me.
Yeah, I know. I can get the graphic ready. So I just need... I don't know where to go to get it printed on it. And I want it in a certain way or whatever. And it's like...
That's pretty good. He did my Spawn... shirts, the bootleg,
which look dope.
Yeah,
those came out. Fucking
I was happy with those.
Yeah,
honestly.
I mean they're
low run. We do low runs. I feel like I don't do a good enough job promoting my shit.
Right.
But I'm the type too. It's like I make an art. I'm painting on. So what I do is
let it be.
Right, and it's like I don't give a fuck. I'll keep them all. Like,
but I think that's the way to go though, because the people that will appreciate that, they see that part of it, and that's the most important part. Is the authenticity of it.
I'm maybe my customer base is just very small. Like I feel like I think I got the price of what I need to charge for it, but it's hard to put a number on like my time. It takes me fucking a long time to do.
Yeah. Well, that's something people don't factor in when you put out a boot and you're like, I want almost $100 for this, $85 for that, and they're like, yeah, but then again, I'll be honest, I almost feel like the premium price, if your work is good, it goes with it, and if you see it, you just buy it. Yeah. Because, I mean, honestly, people are spending $500 to $1,000 on a shirt like it's nothing. Yeah. And it's like, I mean, because you don't need to do that, right? You can go buy a shirt at Target for $1 for your shirt.
And the ones I do, I hand paint.
Yeah.
Literally hand paint.
Yeah. I've seen your setup, and when you up fucking early in the morning working on shit, like,
it's like that should take him, like...
But I think that shines through, and that's what separates people's work. Is the people that maybe did a quick print bullshit thing, or they had a good graphic guy, but you don't see the soul in the shirt. Right. You know what I mean?
Like, it was funny. Like it's like I almost like I want to make my slogan like striving for imperfections. Like you're looking for the perfect shirt for me. It's
not it.
You're not. Don't come to me. Yeah. Because it's gonna be like it's all.
It's perfectly imperfect.
Right. It's like. There might be a stain here. Shit ran through. It's like that should I can't be.
And then everyone is different.
Right. I try to do different colors.
Yeah.
Try to make them a little bit different, and I'm even like keen to like trading them because I'm a big trader. Like I love
love trading.
Yeah. So it's like if you could trade me something for the value that I want on my tee.
Yep.
Like, that's a win in my book, right?
I think sometimes that's the best way to go. Yeah. I have made trades and by chance parlayed those trades into other things that I never would have if I didn't trade for that item.
Yeah.
Like I remember one time I got that TurboGrafx 16, but it was the rental case. Remember, Doyle? I bought the rental case at a video game store, and I didn't want anything to do with it, but it came with the CD attachment for the system inside. I got it for $5. Crazy. I ended up trading that for Mega Man X4 on Sega Saturn, which was like ended up being like a $700 $600 game.
Wow.
And so I would have never bought that TurboGrafx thing like randomly, but someone I knew really wanted the fucking thing, and they had Mega Man X4.
Yeah,
and
sometimes
they
it
didn't
just works, and maybe he got that Mega Man for $2.
That's exactly. And you know what? Everyone wins,
Right.
and we all both got what we wanted, and it was fucking, yeah, hell yeah, bro. Because it really depends what you see value in.
Mm-hmm.
So like everyone values, and I noticed that in vintage. Like I was saying before, I like my random mid location shirts or my Wolves and Indians and
That's
shit.
gonna become something too.
I know. See, and I think hey, listen, I got the market cornered on it. So
Yeah.
if my location shirts blow up, I don't even know if that's what they're called. I call them location shirts.
But it's funny you say like I want to make like trip shirts, like literally like when I have events.
Yeah.
And like maybe everyone does mushrooms or something like that, and do like drug teas.
And see,
like,
while you're on mushrooms and you make a shirt.
Well, no, just like we'll have
'Cause we
shirts
could do
ready
that.
pre-made.
Okay.
About, like tripping a drug
Okay.
related.
Okay. Melting
then-
faces or something.
And then, but it's a trip, right? Like everyone's coming somewhere, so it's like
Correct.
It's like a play on words. Like,
I got you.
Yeah, I want to do something like that, with, like drug teas.
It's like
I wanna
you
do
know what that
something-
reminded me of? That reminded me of your boy from Office Space jumping to conclusions.
I didn't see that.
You didn't see,
Nah.
bro, you never saw Office Space?
Nah.
All right, well, you're on vacation. Somehow find a way to like rent it or
Yeah,
illegally stream
I
it.
definitely need like to watch a lot of movies. I'm definitely not on top.
Are you
of
not
it.
up on like certain classic movies?
Yeah,
Because you know what?
I'm
Let
not
me
good.
tell you something.
I'm not good.
Neither is Doyle.
Yeah.
And when I first met Doyle, this is my rule of thumb. You don't see certain like, all right, you saw the movie Seven.
Yes.
Okay.
I love stuff.
Doyle never saw Seven. You know what I did? Put on the last 3 minutes. That's your penalty. So I'm just gonna
Yeah.
completely fuck them. Imagine you never saw Seven, and then I just
Well,
put
now
the
you have to watch it, right? Did you watch it, or you still didn't watch it?
yeah, and then he watched it. Yeah, but I just put it on and listened. So I do that to
You know
all the
what sucks
classics.
about classic movies? I feel like a lot of like recently, it's not recently, but the older ones like need to have to be watched during that time. Like I feel like
Yeah.
they're ruined.
There's some
certain-
disconnect for sure.
Yeah, like you can't put it like a young kid and tell them like you have to watch The Godfather, or you have to.
It's
watch
not,
something. It's
especially if
just
they're
not
used
gonna
to
hit.
this world that we live in now. The
it's just-
Godfather is not. Now Scarface was still kind of,
Yeah,
but
but-
even that it's older. It looks older. It feels older. I mean, I love it. But
Yeah.
the younger generation for sure. But I agree with you. Time period in movies are, I mean, some of the Marvel movies, like all right, the new we're going to talk about the trailer coming out tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
And how that's going to make, I mean, because this Spider-Man thing going on is really,
a lot happened.
I feel it. I feel it more than I felt it for a lot of other movies.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm not a fan of the Venom and Carnage situation now, the way that they did it.
bad.
I don't want to say if you're a real fan, you don't like it, but realistically, this is not what I want from Venom and
Me
Carnage.
neither.
You
First of
know?
all,
And it's really not the actor's fault, or it's more of the writers and the direction the studios want to go and what they will and won't let them do.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, Carnage is one of the most sadistic, crazy characters of all time.
Like, he can't be on just one. He needs to be like on
Yeah.
like 3 movies.
Yeah.
Like you got to do him justice. Like,
Yeah.
he can't just be one. and
Remember
done.
when the talks before it was supposed to be a Carnage dedicated movie, and then it became no, just Venom 2 with Let There Be Carnage situation. I'm like,
Now the Venom, first of all, Venom is only around because of Spider-Man.
yeah.
The fact that Spider-Man's not in it is almost.
But you
like a
said you
loss.
think they're going to incorporate that because of
I think at least they have to.
they have a lot to do with 3 different Spider-Mans now,
Yeah.
so they can do whatever the fuck they want to do.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be a part of one of the universes. Maybe not with the MCU, but
Right.
I think they're all gonna. Because I heard that the kid Andrew Garfield, right?
Yeah, Garfield, yeah.
He got like a huge check. He got paid a lot.
Sure
of
he
money,
did.
Right? And it's probably not because he's doing a 10-minute skit. It might be because.
Oh, I
he's
see what you
signing
mean. It's a
contract.
major part, and then
Yeah.
it's intricate, and
I
there's
think it-
yeah.
I'm
Well, it makes
hoping,
sense.
too.
I mean,
You know,
maybe they
I-
just gave him 50 mil, 60 mil real quick, and just said, "Yo, just be in here for 10 minutes."
Yeah, maybe because it's like, dude, if you don't get me in.
Well, you need them. You need
Right.
them to build the story and
Yeah,
to yeah.
some people Toby might have took a less check, and this guy's like, hey. you
Now,
know
what happens now? Does
him by
the
the
Spider-Man tees go up in price because of the Spider-Man hype?
I think so.
So you try to take advantage, maybe, of that bump in the hype at that time. So you
I mean, yeah.
there's some great Spider-Man. Obviously, that's one of the best. You know what one that that I know you fucking love. You maybe even have it. Is the one that Wiz just got. It's a Venom tee with Spider-Man in the back in his eyes.
Nah, I've had that one. But that's a good one.
That tee is fucking. There's a few covers of the Carnage, Maximum Carnage series that I'm like, dude. And I know some of them are definitely tees.
Yeah.
Damn,
a lot. I should have wore one. I had I forget. I think it's cover 8 or 9 with a Black Cat.
Yeah.
I have that one.
I like the obscure ones too. Ones that people. I've seen. What was the crazy one? What's that Venom? Is it Cable in Venom where Cable is shooting through Venom and it's super detailed? Yeah, you know what I mean? Where it's like coming through his back.
Yes, I don't think that's.
Is that not Cable? I don't know. Maybe it's not. I don't know.
That one's really good.
But that tee to me, I saw that tee, bro. I'm like, yo, the detail in it on the artwork is like so vivid.
And we bring this up. Like a lot of guys that bought tees off like the back of like some of those solo prints, like they didn't even know what they were getting. They just checked off like Venom versus somebody.
Damn.
And like they took a gamble. So like somebody that I know went and like. So all these shirts were made in New Jersey. Like all the Comic Image Marvel shirts in the 90s were made like in one spot in New Jersey. It was like a family-run business. Like Marvel literally came up to them and was like, yo, we want you to do this. Like move to this facility.
Which that's how it probably worked back in the day.
And they did everything. So rumor has it that there were more prints of solos, but when I say print, like designs.
Okay.
But less of them were made because there were so many to choose from.
Oh, I see what you mean.
So technically, there's more megas than there probably are solo prints.
Got you. Those are pricey. I mean, I always see until you just schooled me. I assume that the mega prints would be the rarer ones, but no, you're saying that the solo.
Some of the solos because they weren't really made, and I keep saying that we're gonna find out a day. Someone's gonna find the database and like they could start to say. Only 20 of these were made. Like that's gonna be a game changer when it's like there was only 20 like of these solos made.
And then once that's official, that's gonna make those tees go crazy.
Tees are gonna go crazy.
Which they should. If there's 20 of something, I mean.
I think that's gonna be.
That's a question that I have. When I see these tees, I always wondered how many of those actually were made.
Yeah.
And never mind made, how many, cool, it was made in 92. How many exist today?
Yeah. How many got thrown out? How many turned into rags?
They were just shirts.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100% somebody is using a Magneto mega print fucking. Yeah, I always say the Magneto one because that's the one that is always on eBay for 20 grand or whatever the fuck
like
it is.
Two of them on.
They've been there for 6 years.
Yeah,
it's been there forever, like 2 years, 4 years, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. How much, okay, what's the most expensive tee that you saw be sold to somebody? Unless the most expensive tee that you saw was with you involved, that's fine. I'm just saying, how much?
I've heard of like a $9,000 sale of a tee.
And what tee would that possibly be?
It was a rap tee.
So I know the Fuji's ones go for.
I think it might have been ODB.
ODB. Well, the Brooklyn Zoo one is.
That'd be the Brooklyn Zoo.
The Brooklyn Zoo one I saw. Yeah. What's that, Doyle?
Is it?
Today's ODB's birthday?
Oh, shit.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, ODB. Oh, I'll briefly speak about my excursion taking the girlfriend to Tampa to go hang out with Raekwon.
Yeah,
okay.
Great.
So here's the thing. So I'm blessed to know Raekwon. He's been a friend. Me and Doyle have hung out. We smoked blunts with Raekwon.
That's great.
Raekwon called Doyle an idiot, or he said he's fucking stupid. That was funny.
That's great.
But the real thing is, so me and Doyle got really fucked up before. See, the whole point of what I'm about to tell you is I should have learned my lesson. So let's talk about it. I went and saw Raekwon with Doyle a couple of years ago, and we had a great time. We hung out with Raekwon from like 7 p.m. to midnight, drinking, smoking, eating dinner. Like we had this private dinner. It was really nice, right? Everything was cool. And then I'm drunk and I'm fucked up and I'm high as shit. And I'm wondering when the fuck the show starts because we're supposed to go watch a show here. And I asked Raekwon, he goes, there's a bunch of opening acts. We don't go on till like 1 a.m., whatever. Anyway, by the time it was time to go to the show, I pulled up with this kid to the show. I walked in and said, you know what, I'm going home, bro. I'm good. I don't even care. I mean, we got to hang out anyway. Like, that's what I really cared about. So fast forward to Tampa this year. I talked to Raekwon a few weeks ago. He's like, yeah, definitely come. Fucking smoke some blunts. He told me don't bring blunts, bring joints. Cool. Okay, bringing joints. I take the girlfriend. I get this nice-ass hotel right in Ybor City. Literally, the hotel was 390 feet away from the venue.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was dope, man. You know, I booked it. It was dope. It was really good. Well, I talked to Raekwon before the show. He said we're going out like 8:30. I'm like, all right, cool, perfect. He put me on the, me and my girl were on the artist list, VIP. I got VIP whatever in this place. It was dope, right? And then I showed you a picture that random person sent me. It was a little sketchy.
A little bit.
Somebody sent me a picture of myself and said that they see me, a follower of mine. My girl was freaked out about it. And the dude was showing love. He wasn't being weird at all. It was just, but it's weird that shit happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a sketchy picture of me in a balcony. But anyway, essentially the same thing happened. Now here's what happened. I don't really drink anymore at all. I stopped drinking like almost 2 years ago. But I go out to dinner, I have a glass of wine. But I decided tonight, you know what? It's like a celebration. Called cranberry vodkas, this and that, wine, this and that. I was already a little tipsy. And then we got that beautiful seat in the balcony. And then the show, right? Everyone's down there. The vibe was good. There was a lot of people in this place. And the music comes on. And then there's just opening acts, right? These local dudes who are unfortunately pretty terrible. But you know what? These are younger cats. They're trying to get their hustle off. And some of them were more on the hip hop. It wasn't just like I didn't like the style of the shit. It was hip hop. But bro, okay, the first dude comes up, right? All right, let him get his shit off. Three or four songs, right? Cool. Okay, the next guy comes up. It's like 5 or 6 songs. And now I'm on the 5th dude.
Oh my God.
Here's the thing. I'm ADD as fuck. I'm there to see Raekwon. I'm half drunk. The lights were down. We started smoking. Now I'm high. I've been standing in that spot. The way you saw me, I was standing there for 3.5 hours. And my girl, God bless her, she has the patience of a saint. She was like, I told her I wanted to go. And she was like, what? I'm like, yeah, I don't even. She's like, but they're going to come on. Because what happened was something happened where the DJ, there was issues with the setup. And they're like, I'm going to go check on Wu-Tang. I'll be back. And no one came out. There's just a light on the stage.
Oh my God.
And then, but here's the thing. I go back into, people starting to get restless. You have to understand, I'm in the VIP up on the balcony. I got all the room in the world. Everything's cool. Everybody else is sardines in that bitch with nowhere to go. The music wasn't even on anymore. And it was like 30 minutes of just that. And you can hear people talking and it's just like getting sketchy. And I'm just like, yo. And so I ended up leaving and just going to sleep in the hotel. And actually, no, me and my girl went to some restaurant after. And then I woke up the next morning and I left. I did get to meet Raekwon's brother, who I've been talking to online forever, Don Perignon. That's his name, and he's legit.
You raps too?
No. He's just like, he was there helping out because he does like the merch and shit. He's like help managing and all that shit. But it was funny because he recognized me. I was going up to the VIP and he grabbed me and I was like, uh-oh, what did I do? And then I realized it was him and we talked and everything was cool. But the point was when I said I should have learned my lesson, I guess I should have showed up at like 1 in the fucking morning. Now here's the mystery. I don't even know if they really showed up. The last thing I spoke to Raekwon was I took a picture from the balcony and I thanked them for getting me in and that like I have a dope seat. Yeah. I never texted him after because his brother told me to go to the club with them. They have an after show in the club. But me and my girl were eating at the restaurant across the street and there was cop cars in the front of the venue. And this is like an hour after we left. I'm like, I don't even know if they showed up, if something happened. Because the next night they were in Fort Lauderdale and they showed like mad footage of them there. They didn't show anything from Tampa.
Oh, so they probably didn't make it.
I don't know what happened, bro. But I mean, once again, it was all good because the experience was cool. But now I know. Don't go up because the opening acts.
It's
rough.
Take a nap. Don't even get there. Like.
And by the way, this isn't 22-year-old Mikey anymore. I'm about to be 37. My birthday is Saturday, coming up Saturday. Nice. I'm going to be 37, okay? So, yo soy viejo at this point, right? And
you're not built for it.
Not anymore, bro. Not anymore. I mean, I had like 2 drinks. I smoked a couple of joints. I'm like, I got to go to bed.
I told my buddy, next time you see me with a drink, slap it out of my hand. I just can't drink anymore.
It's
like,
not a thing. It just makes me tired, and then I didn't want to. I was standing in that fucking thing, going like, I can't believe like I really don't want to be here right now.
Yeah,
it's weird. I never would think that I would feel that.
Puts me in like sleepy time mode.
Yeah,
especially at night.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, like, and that's honestly the only time if I like to drink, I have a couple of glasses of wine before bed, and I'll just go to bed.
Yeah, you'll pass right up.
That's it. Yeah, that's all it's good for. No.
Like if I go to a concert, I need to take like a nap, like vitamins, like stretch, like it's like like I can't.
I know I feel you, bro.
Liquor. Like,
I don't know what happened. It just
when
like
I was younger, I can't do it no more. Remember you can never forget like summer jam and going.
Oh my god, bro! I've been to a couple of summer jams.
Yeah.
That's an all day situation.
Yeah, and like by the time I got to the end, I was like finally like almost done. But that's from drinking heavy. Now, if I did that, I wouldn't make it past the first act.
Now I learned. If I ever go to any more shows or anything like that, I'm not showing up till 1 a.m, bro. I'm gonna just walk in there, and maybe I'll catch the tail end of something. I mean, I was looking forward to it because it was Raekwon, Ghostface, and GZA.
Oh,
yeah, it was the 3 Chambers tour, bro. And this was a good one. This wasn't just. And then I'm like, man. And then, by the way, what's as dope is Raekwon and Ghostface are going to be on Drink Champs, Noriega's podcast, which is really dope. I mean, I wish I would have saved the voice note because I'm a complete psychopath and I delete all text. If you text me right now and you text me and I answer you, I just delete the text.
Oh, you should see my phone. You would freak
out. No, I can't. Don't show me. I have people that have my girlfriend's phone has 847 missed calls, 92 million messages. I'm like, bro, no way. There's nothing. You go to my recent calls, 0. You go to my messages, 0.
I wish I was
every time, no matter what. But it's also because I'm OCD, like I legitimate obsessive compulsive with certain things.
I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of pros in that. I feel like it's not even like it's not even a bad thing.
Yeah, it's a cleanse. It's a purge thing. I have to purge like that. I can't. So what I was saying was I had the a voice note that he left me because I was texting him, but he was just like, he's like, yeah, it's just hearing. See, the thing is I'm still like, and we're legitimate friends, but I'm still such a fan of him. Just hearing him leave me a voice note of like, yeah, you know what I mean? I'll put you on the list. You know what I mean? You girl look good. We go on at like 8:30. I'm just like, bro, it's fucking Raekwon, bro. We were smoking a blunt with him, and I was saying that. We were like, okay, like, and I lost the blunt. It was funny. We were smoking with Doyle, and I lost the blunt. It was in the door panel of like my car, and I didn't know. And he's like, yo, you better find that blunt. He was fucking pissed about it, bro. That was so funny though. That whole night was crazy. That's a movie. What happened with that?
See, like, getting back to kind of like the setup here, like. You get him in here, right?
I know.
And you get him to just even spend some money because he's gonna be like, yo, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah.
Right?
I see now that you've been here, it's different to see it. Yeah. You know what? I interviewed him on when I used to do my podcast. This is like 3 years ago now. I used to do audio only. I did a whole interview with him.
Oh, so he's overdue. 3 years?
Yeah. And we've been talking. It's just that, and I told him this time, I said, I have to have you in studio.
Yeah.
And I made a promise to myself because I've had a lot of interviews lined up. I interviewed Slobby Robbie. It was on the phone. Right. I interviewed like Will Castro from Unique Autosports. Okay. You know who that is from Long Island? Yeah. My boy Dan Bell, who does like the Dead Mall thing. I'm really into Dead Malls. You fuck with Dead Malls?
I do, yeah.
Bro, do you know who Dan Bell is?
No.
Dan Bell is like the godfather of Dead Malls. He's basically... I believe he's out of Baltimore. He's a director, a filmmaker. He does a lot of staying in weird hotel rooms and dirty hotel room shit. But his main thing that he did, and it caught my attention, was his Dead Mall videos are phenomenal. And they're just like the locations he goes to. Dead Malls is a crazy thing because when we grew up, like I would try to explain to the younger cats, like going to the mall was an all day. It was an event. Yeah. Whether you were there with your family or your parents dropped you off there.
That was like the chill spot.
You would eat. You had movie theater. Yeah. You were chasing girls around. You had like the shoe stores. I mean, everything was there, and it was like a grand fashion, and that's why they were so crazy. That's why they were so like extravagant. I mean, all the way to what's the one that's got the roller coaster? Is that in Minnesota or some shit? Yeah. Mall of America, right? Yeah. Minneapolis. I don't know what the fuck it is.
Who has like the sickest malls? Is it Jersey?
So Long Island's got some good malls.
Yeah.
I mean, they had Sunrise Mall was my local shit. Wasn't that good? Roosevelt Field was dope. Roosevelt Field was dope. And then I would go to like there's some hood malls. I would go to in Queen like Green Acres Mall. That was a little sketchy. But now the malls, though, it's amazing. There's a mall right over here now. That one I was talking about, Millennium Not Dead Mall. It's you like, it's really impressive, bro.
Yeah.
And honestly, they have Christmas shit up there now. It's like, it's fucking crazy. But there's another one. What is it called? Fashion Square, right? Fashion Square Mall. Yo, there's nobody in these. I'm talking about nothing. And then there's the one that I always film. That's way out in Lakeland. That's like an hour from here. But they have a dope video game and figure store. So I go there. But yo,
besides that, nobody's even in there. Right?
it's unbelievable. And but what I love is that music is always playing. The mall music, it echoes perfectly, and nothing has been changed from the 90s. It's that same like light green tile with the tan tile and the fake palm trees. It's the same shit. The water fountains.
It's like Little Miss Sunshine. Like, you know that movie Little Miss Sunshine?
Yeah.
It has that like vibe.
Exactly.
Like
Exactly, bro. That vibe, yo, talk about a great location for photos and teas and shit. If you can get that aesthetic, that's the perfect aesthetic, bro.
I do like abandoned malls.
Abandoned malls is my next favorite. So the thing I love with the abandoned malls is there's one that Dan did. It was called Neon Dream. If you go on YouTube, you type in Dead Mall, Dan Bell, Neon Dream. It was abandoned, but the electric still works in it. And the reason for that is the state owns it, and it's just like a loophole. Like whoever's paying the electric, they never cut it off. Like, but it's not lit up like that. It's in certain spots, right? But there are department stores where the fucking loop of the like, we'll be right there to help you. Like, please shop around. Like it's still on, but it's crackly and it's low.
Oh my god! That's
and there's the reason it was called Neon Dream, and I don't remember where this mall was, but when you look it up, you'll find out. Is there was this store that had neon fluorescent lights on the ceiling, like the long tube ones, and it's still just lit. It's just 24 hours a day. It's just lit up. So in the darkness of the parts of the mall, you just see this crazy neon fucking ceiling. And like to hear, and there's music still playing in the mall, but it's weird and low and fucked up.
In a really nice neighborhood, I feel like, or nice area because the kids would.
Or completely desolate area where there's nobody there to fuck with it. Like there's not any homeless people living in it and that kind of a thing. I mean, because most of them in the daytime they still look dope because most of them are a greenhouse with all the glass panels, which are fire. I would love to go to them and like just fucking. I would have to find like a real abandoned one. He also does like abandoned houses. He did one where I don't even understand what happened. It was a nice ass neighborhood and all the houses were abandoned it was in the 90s and it's still there to the point where like there's family photos, there's couches, it was like people picked up and left, but it's an entire cul-de-sac, like 8 to 10 houses. And then there's nothing else, so I don't understand why it's even there. I don't know.
I looked this up.
Yeah, Dan Bell, bro. Those videos were kind of old, but I don't know. How long are we in the Matrix again? How long have we been recording? You're supposed to give me a timer. You didn't give me a timer. Okay. All right. Well, you did. You gave me a timer, bro. You actually did.
Yeah.
You're still a scumbag, but I appreciate it.
He hasn't been. He wants a time check.
Yeah. Is there anything else that we should be talking about?
I mean,
is there anything you would like to tell the vintage community?
Well, no. I want to talk about my events coming up.
Well, fucking tell us.
So December 4th, New York City, 804 Broadway in Metropolis Vintage. We're doing, we're going back to the basis of East Coast Connection, which was kind of in the basement of Metropolis. Only like 10 to 11 vendors, more like keep it in-house.
A little more intimate of
more like back to the basements kind of.
Okay.
We're calling it Speakeasy Saturdays.
Ah, dope.
Yeah, we're trying to do one Saturday a month, I should say.
Okay.
Because with the weather kind of getting cold in New York, the market's kind of gonna get dried up.
Yeah.
Freeze out, I should say.
Yeah.
So we're gonna try to keep that community still strong during the winter, and we're making it free.
Oh, dope. So you don't even have to pay to get in there. You just
if you come with a bag, we're gonna charge you for like trading bags.
Okay, which makes sense.
Yeah, because we want to like the vendors are paying a certain amount.
Yeah, so. that wouldn't be right because otherwise they would just bring their shit. Yeah.
But
and that's when December 4th.
December 4th, which is a Saturday. It's coming up. It's a couple of weeks away, and then at the end of December, me and Fresh Kills are gonna have our own like weekly pop up, for a week at Metropolis from like like the day after Christmas, like leading up to New Year's.
Oh, that's perfect timing. That's a nice.
And if everything lines up right, we're gonna end off New Year's with a party too in
Dope.
Metropolis. So we're trying to get any of the homies that are coming out of town. We're kind of offering them, like I offered you, like to come do a pop up too with us for a day.
Yeah. I think that I have to
Bring
partake.
some clothes, bring some games and
Yeah,
stuff.
just random cool vintage shit.
Yeah,
Just to create something different.
So yeah, we want to. In a perfect world, we'll have a different vendor each day while we're doing our own pop.
Got you.
So I'm gonna bring all the shit that I have, even the mids, the high ends of the jackets, bring everything. Have it out for a week, and then bring vendors in daily and swap.
You know what I was thinking, which would be dope, is we set something up here like that, and what's amazing is directly, and we'll go because we're gonna smoke a blunt on the balcony after this.
Yeah.
There's a hotel, a nice hotel, that's the building across the street. So if people came to town, and this is downtown, this is as downtown as you can get. This is prime real estate for if you were on vacation and you wanted to like venture out downtown area.
Yeah.
Like having that hotel next door like that. I mean, if I can get in tight with the hotel people and get a room.
It's all about definitely just networking and communicating and letting the people know around here what's happening too.
Yeah, of course.
Because I feel like that was something that we were kind of lagging on our last kind of East Coast. Like, you need to get everyone in your neighborhood.
Yeah, not everyone's gonna fly in
Right.
for it, but you know what it is. You should build a strong local base, and everyone else that flies in is a bonus, and then it grows organically from there.
That's what we're learning.
Dope.
Too, like, and we're listening to vendors and kind of hearing what they think would make it better too. So we're applying that too.
Yeah.
That's why we're making it free. We just think we don't want to turn away the potential vintage collector, right? Like somebody could slowly come into the game, but you gotta kind of like let them like taste it a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah.
Somebody might not want to pay whatever it is, 20
Especially
bucks
when
for
they
it.
don't know their way around yet.
Yeah,
And it's like,
why am I spending $20 to look at shirts? Now come in for free. They might just stumble across them, and you might have a.
and just so
customer for life.
people know, the reason why you even pay $20 to walk in and look at them is curation.
Right.
The amount of hours it's taken, the networking, the money, the knowledge.
Yeah.
And then also knowing that, not for nothing, but I would feel confident that, hey, this isn't just like a reprint of a shirt or a really good reprint, right? Because some reprints, especially, I don't even know. People, I'm sure they fake everything.
Yeah.
But like, I was gonna say if you get the graphic from the shirt, then it would you just reprint it. But then it never really comes out right. But if it's on the same blank, because they printed
always
them.
compare it to the old one, and something to be off.
But you know what? That takes that out of it, because you guys, what you do, and your level of knowledge, and you're trusted with that.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
That I'm bringing in, I trust them to sell. So we're so you could go on eBay, right, and do your research and maybe find it for a little bit cheaper, but who are you buying off of?
Plus, you get it in your hand that day. I always say that about online. I'm like, I'm here now, whether I'm a buyer or a seller. I'm a buyer, I got cash. You're a seller, you got it right here. I can go right now.
Yeah.
No, it didn't get lost in shipping. No, I get it, it's damaged.
Right.
Shipping is...
And then if you don't know your way around a real and a fake, that's knowledge that the vendors that I'm bringing on already have. And
Correct.
And they're going to...
Now, how do you feel? How does shipping work with you? Somebody buys a $2,800 Marvel shirt from you. You just, hey, I just put it in there. I mean, I'm just saying, it's like it's crazy. Not that it's crazy, but it's a lot of money on a shirt. And it's just like, I'm just gonna put it in the mail, and it'll just show up. It's because it's a smaller item. Like if I think of I'm spending $3, $4, $5 it must be what am I buying, a moped? Like know.
No, it's definitely a little scary. I've been knock on wood. I find it.
That is wood. It's particle board, so it is technically wood.
Like I've been blessed to not really get fucked over by people.
Yeah.
Because I think there's a lot of trust, and
it is amazing, the trust factor. A lot of times, I mean, I've sent and received money where it's like, okay, like fuck it, I'm gonna give you a few thousand, especially, payment types, whether it's PayPal, a lot of these, I think a lot of these mediums for money, PayPal in particular, they've caught on to how much people are really using their services to the point where it's I don't fuck with it as much anymore.
Yeah.
And it's like Zelle to me is the safest thing. I don't know if that is or it isn't. I just feel like it as a
buyer or
as a
seller?
seller.
Yeah.
And as a buyer, if you Zelle me $5,000, you just Zelle me $5,000. And if I say fuck you, what are you gonna do?
That's why I like Zelle's good for me when people want to buy off me.
Yeah.
You could sell it to me all day.
Yeah.
And I just know as myself I'm not gonna scum somebody over.
Yeah.
Buying, I need it like, and even for tax purposes, I need to.
I know you because you have your LLC, your Future Pass LLC,
right. So
which is important. I wish people would understand
now
that.
when I'm buying stuff, it's like, oh, I'll pay the fee.
Yeah.
Because I got to show what I'm buying.
Yeah, yeah. You have to do it anyway. For you, it's more of a logistic business thing.
Yeah, and it's better to keep track. When I'm just sending gift things and not putting anything in, it's like, what did I?
Yeah, you have no idea. Thousands of dollars a month, and it's like, what the fuck
I need
happened?
to know exactly what I'm buying,
Yeah.
how much I'm buying.
Yeah.
And
Well, and that's, I hope people listen to that. If you're maybe a younger cat or just someone that's getting into vintage as far as selling, like,
protected.
it's a business and you want to treat it like that. It's not just like a big garage sale all the time that,
And I've heard horror stories about people getting gifted stuff and then they're just beat on PayPal because you gifted it,
Yeah.
When if you pay the fee is a little bit high, but it's not that bad. When you're spending already $2,000, what is it, $30 more or $40?
It's not crazy.
Fees,
Yeah.
or whatever it is, it's like to protect yourself on your end as a buyer.
100%.
I think it's way worth it.
I mean, imagine you lost it or if something happened and you lost all of it instead of you paying $35 or whatever the fuck.
Get it all back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
cool.
It's happened to me too.
Yeah, it happens to all of us.
Yeah.
It's happened to me. I remember early on when I first started buying things on Instagram, game shit. I was such a bitch about like quality, and this is a long time ago. This is like 8-9 years ago. I was on Instagram fucking buying Sega Saturn games, and they would come all fucked up, and then I would feel helpless. I'd be like, so I just bought this from Joe Schmo 682, and what am I gonna do?
Yeah, no dispute.
Yeah, and then a lot of times, and I've seen horror stories of people just getting scumbagged in their pages. Or they'll delete their page, and then you really, there's not even an email attached to it, but that's the risk you take. Sometimes you got to be smart as a buyer and a seller. I mean, either way, but I don't know.
The best of us should get burned. I feel like if you do anything in any industry long enough, someone's gonna screw you over.
Yeah. And I know people try to get the word out the best they can if they had a problem with somebody. And then it just becomes a pissing match between people. And it's like, all right,
try
bro.
to stay out of that.
Yeah, of course. The drama part of it is not a good thing, but there's levels to it. And when you're on a certain level, you look down and it's like, I'm not dealing with that. That's not, I got things to do.
I tell people, like, the amount of, like, people I shouldn't probably talk to or, like, things I could bash people on Instagram and stuff, I just don't because I look at it as like I'm a business, right? I don't want someone to come on my page.
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna see like me personally rant, like sometimes I rant, but not too much. I'll show some of my family, but I want it to kind of be good vibes. Like, like I don't want you to be like, oh, he's the guy that's fighting with this one.
You get more bees with honey than you do vinegar.
Yes. So I try to stay. I say I'm Sweden. I try to stay
neutral.
A lot of beef.
Yeah, it's the best policy, bro.
I mean, it probably sucks on some ends because maybe I'm not going on someone's like side or something like that, and I kind of try to stay out. But to me, my side is my family. Like, like that's
100%.
That's like the.
And in the long run, it's the best way to look at it. It's the best. It's the best thing to do. It's the best policy.
Yeah,
for sure. All right, Doyle. We ready to shut it down or what? Yeah. Okay. All right. I usually ask Doyle if he has any wisdom to impart at the end of the show. I don't know, Josh, you got anything to impart on the people before we get out of here?
I feel like I've been saying the same shit when people kind of ask me this question, and it's just like, it's just like be you, right?
Okay, I'm with it.
I think stop judging yourself so much. You're human, anybody. Definitely stop judging others. Like, that needs to get left at the door. Like, someone does something, like, you don't know what that man's going through when he shuts off his Instagram. He's not.
You know what? That's something I've learned, bro.
Yeah.
It's something I've had to learn.
And it's like, you could look at it from the outside like, oh, but why doesn't he do this? Or what? It's like, you know what? You spend so much time thinking about what somebody should or shouldn't do. You don't know what they're going through.
Word.
You don't know what he goes through, what demons he has to deal with. So, but I think it starts with yourself. Like, stop judging yourself. So, like, if you don't get to that project right away, like, you're human. You know, like, you'll do what you want and what you love when like you can get
when
to
it's time. We all have our own process.
Yeah.
Word.
Like, it might take you 10 years to do something. That's fine. There's no pressure. Like, like I think society has like you need to be like married, have a job, like by a certain
Yeah,
age.
live in this box.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like,
nah.
You could be married when you're 80. You could get your perfect job when you're 70.
Yeah.
Like that's like
I've
life
realized
isn't
that in
over,
recent
or-
years, and
yeah.
it's helped me a lot. It's just like clarity when you look
Yeah.
at shit. It definitely. See, Doyle, when I ask you for wisdom, this is what I'm talking about. You don't tell us to like. What did you say last time? Like, comment, and share. That was your fucking wisdom, bro.
He was like, let's
Josh
look
is
at-
diving
hold
in
on.
deep, man.
Yeah, no, because that's really what it is, and it's like, it's hard for me. It's hard. Like I deal with all like the shit I'm spewing. I have to stop judging my family.
Yeah.
You know,
Me
it's
too,
really
bro.
hard. You know, and
I think we all, whether we admit it or not, have a little of that. Minimal.
Yeah, it's what we're just born with, and I think it's what's people don't teach. Like I feel like stuff in school, different things should be taught. Like
Yeah.
like philosophies of life. And
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
and
Don't worry
things not-
about just the War of 1812 and 2
Yeah.
plus 2 is 4.
Yeah, like there's so many
Yeah.
things that kids need to be taught and like kind of schooled in of
Word.
how to like think. That it's like, I think we're gonna get there.
Yeah.
'Cause,
The
like,
world we live in now is different for sure.
Yeah, like people.
But technology is
Yeah.
aiding and hurting. I don't know
Yes,
which
yeah,
way.
it's tough. It's like when do we become
The internet's
like,
definitely a gift and a curse. There's no
Yeah,
other way to
it's-
look at it.
Yeah, it's tough. I feel like one day we're just gonna get to like you're just gonna watch what we tell you to watch, right?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can only think the way we want you. That's
Fahrenheit 451 shit.
Yeah. So I am scared for that, but I think there's a way out of it.
Day by day, bro. Day by day.
I agree.
All right, bro. All right. Well, listen, Doyle, this is the proper way to outro the show as opposed to you. All right. So take notes. Until next time, peace.